guys, welcome back for a very special episode number 30. That is 30. That is 30. How do you say that in other languages? I don't know, but leave it in the comments. How do you say 30 in your language?
As you talk, I actually forgot to replace that.
Oh, you know talking. What? We're head on a swivel. We're gonna do it.
Just keep going.
Yeah, we're gonna just keep going. My name is Jose Rodriguez, and I have my co-host here,
David Diokendo.
And the podcast name, if this is your first time joining us, is Words Are Tough. There is no "the" in there, as we've established. I think somewhere in episode 17. But yeah, we're glad to be filming again, and we have some very special things. As you can see, if some of you have watched some of our older episodes, we have some new mics here. We don't want to bore you with podcast life, but we are gonna get some all new gear and stuff like that, and hopefully step it up. We have some guests coming on. I know we've been talking about it for a little bit, but it's finally in the works, and also things are going away, so things are opening up, and you know how that works. So we have we're our 30th episode. We are that much closer to number 50, and we're excited, to keep sharing the podcast with you guys. Please comment, subscribe, and click the notification bell, like the video, all that stuff, because it does help the channel out a lot.
The almighty algorithm.
Yeah.
That's what I call it.
That's really, it's really what it's all about. Google figured it out, and now we're, they got us doing the algorithm dance.
Yeah, and beginning, like when I first watched YouTube videos and all that, and people would just say, like, comment, subscribe, etc. I still actually get still annoyed by it, but yeah, it's just if kind of like the snowball thing, like if more people click and more people watch and comment, then it kind of snowballs, and then that's how things get trends and such. But I don't know. Views are nice.
Yeah.
It boosts my self-esteem, I guess.
Yeah, and like we said in our last episode, send us in a video of you asking us a question. We'll throw it up in the podcast. We really appreciate the support. We're looking forward to answering your guys' questions. I think I've watched, I watch a lot of podcasts and try to draw from certain things I like from each one. And that's one of the cool things I like that I've been seeing lately sometimes. Instead of like doing like a live call, it's just like a video submission of you asking a question. And, it's pretty dope.
Or you can voice an opinion.
Yeah.
Or that.
Yeah. Also, yeah.
Or you can just completely shit on us. I don't know.
Yeah, you could roast us.
You can roast
Send us a video of a roast. We'll post it in the video and we'll react to it. But yeah, I mean, we're having fun with it, and it keeps evolving. So we're liking the direction it's going. But
and for those wondering, what's with the guests? We're figuring out the whole mic tech situation. So, believe it or not, this guy to my left is the tech. He does all the editing and such. So we don't have a guy behind the camera with like figuring out all the stuff. So Jose does all of it. So
yeah, we don't have a red band or a chin.
No. So our first sponsor is Nbox. Give your home-based business its own mailroom. View your open and scan mail from an encrypted app. Have it forwarded, held for pickup, or shredded and recycled. We'll even include a commercial business address to protect your privacy. Visit www.nboxdelivers.com to see more.
And for our next sponsor, we have Premier Rank Marketing. They can help you out if you have a business, whether it's selling stuff online or you have a brick and mortar location, restaurants, gyms. The company's helped so many people during the pandemic grow their online presence. So if you need any help from social media to Facebook targeting campaigns, Google, LinkedIn, and all the other, even TikTok, they do TikTok ads. Just reach out to Premier Rank Marketing and let them know that Words Are Tough sent you, and they'll hook you up with a huge discount. Our third sponsor here, we have Worldwide Solutions, located in Clifton. They do taxes, travel, and insurance. Any type of business needs you have. They can even, give you a good direction to go if you need some payroll services, things like that. And definitely check them out. Their info is right below. And our fourth sponsor is Rick's Barbershop in Garfield, New Jersey. if you have a important date coming up, you're going to a wedding, things like that, you're going to be photographed, definitely check them out. They're the most precise barbers in the area, and they'll definitely hook you up if you tell them Words Are Tough sent you. Jose and David just mention those names, and they'll be like, no problem, right away. We'll hook you up. We just want to say thank you to all of our sponsors, and back to the show.
Which are all like our young Jamie, which is like I think Joe Rogan's tech producer, not producer, whatever.
Yeah, shout out to young Jamie, fastest Google in the West.
Yeah,
I would say from Texas to the West.
Yeah, but you said you had a question before.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna start it in a really immature way.
Okay.
Just to set the tone. In a recent podcast, I just figured out these questions are so interesting, even about like dumb little things, just because there's certain things that people might think like their whole lives that everyone was doing and they weren't. So it came to my attention.
I see where you're going.
Yeah, it came to my attention that supposedly a lot of women think that guys, after they use the bathroom, they roll up toilet paper and wipe off their whole,
Hole.
Yeah, their whole thing, their whole member,
hole.
I would say. Like with almost like how you would, dry off with a towel after you shower, and my question to you is do you wipe down like that after you pee?
Huh. You're asking me this? Or
Yeah. We'll ask her. We'll say ourselves. Well, personally, I'll go first. I'm more of a shaker guy. I do it cleanly. I don't get it everywhere.
You're talking about urinating?
Yeah, when you're peeing. When you're peeing.
It varies. If it's like, if I'm like a public urinal, it's just the whole shake 3 times and then.
Yeah, if you shake more than 3 times, you're playing with yourself, right? That's the rule.
At home, I'll use a little tissue paper or something, but because I don't know where that tissue paper was. Like, I don't know if I'm in a public bathroom. I don't want to get any paper around any of my areas. But at home, I'll use like little dab, cleaning up. But actually, this is like number 2. My wife actually got us a bidet, and for years I thought bidets were just like, you know what a bidet is?
Yeah, I have one.
So for you guys that don't know, a bidet is pretty much a little contraption that shoots water up your anus, not up the anus, but in the anal area.
Power wash. And
you can wash out all those dingleberries that kind of hang there. And then when you wipe, it's like almost nothing there or very little. And honestly, I've been saving a whole bunch of like toilet paper. It's just a little wipe and then done. But sometimes when it's explosive and dangerous, having a bidet is really good because you're not just wiping and wiping. And then all that wiping can cause like irritation and chafing and all that. And then the rest of the day, your butt's on fire because all that wiping. So I think bidets are great. But some women, I heard the same thing. Some women think that all men kind of like clean their pee hole. And in public, I just get it done and like, get it over with. And then at home, I'm a little bit more cleaner, I guess you can say.
Yeah, I mean, I don't do that, but I'm more of like I just shake and then like I will use toilet paper because like sometimes your aim it could be perfect, but like you'll get like a splash here and there. You don't want to leave that on the toilet for especially when you live with a significant other.
But when I'm lazy in the morning, I just sit. I'm on my phone. I just kind of catch up on my emails, and then I just sit there for like 5 minutes, which I don't think is a good thing. I don't know. I hear that's kind of causes like a lot of like butt issues, but in the morning I'm pretty lazy. I just sit down because I'm not quite awake yet. Yeah. The last thing you want is to be urinating and then you're not quite there yet. Yeah. Another reason I asked that is because what I further found out after that from dudes answering this question, is a lot of these dudes don't
even shake and just like put their underwear back up, and they got all sorts of like urine stains on their underwear and stuff like that. I'm like, whoa. I'm like, now that is something else I didn't know. So then that makes it kind of like a valid question, like why are girls asking this? Why do they think guys do that? You know, but it's just funny that girls would imagine like, oh, you know, because like that really intrigues me. Like when girls think like if they had, you know, penis, like what they do, like there's like the whole thing, like what I do for 24 hours.
Honestly, I don't know how it is to not have one, so it's hard to like, because for me it's like, you know, you just have one, you know, like it's just there. I mean, I told this to a bunch of my female friends, including my wife. It's like, you don't know how it is to have an organ outside your body.
Yeah, there's that meme that my girl sends me, like with like the little baby elephant swinging the trunk.
Oh yeah,
like me if I have penis for 24 hours.
It's just going all everywhere. Yeah. I mean, I think every boy has done that as a child, where like you're looking down and you're like, oh wait, if I move my hips, it just goes everywhere. Yeah, I think every guy from my experience has that fascination. I mean, but I think you're growing up, you're figuring out your body. It's there. It's like literally hand distance away, or arm's distance away rather. I think every kid has like a place with their dingle dangle.
Yeah, and sometimes, you know, it's funny. You do it and like you don't even realize, like, as you know, later sometimes as an adult looking back, like, oh, I wasn't even like really like, you know, playing myself. I was just
actually,
like,
when I'm watching like a show, I don't even know. Like sometimes I'm like scratching myself or whatever, and I have to be like, "You've been doing that for like a while." Like I have. Like I don't even know. Like it's just kind of like natural to like, and not only that, for health, believe it or not, dudes, check your testicles. It's actually good for you to once in a while you know, check down there. So that's true. The more you know. You gotta.
I learned that from Tom Green. You know, shout out to Tom Green.
I learned from Ryan Reynolds. He has a Deadpool bit where he talks about testicular, like it's like you know, keeping your buddies in check by massaging them.
Yeah,
like, I'm doing this. You do, like it's literally that. It's literally like this motion. But actually, I hear, and this could be just hearsay, a la Amber Heard depth, because now I'm hearing the word hearsay all the time. That's the first thing I think of. But that a lot of men that got in testicular cancer, it was discovered by their significant other.
Damn.
Because they have fun and they notice it, you know, which is kind of terrifying. You would think you're like in the mood, and then like what's that? They're like, I don't know. So yeah, nothing wrong with checking up and massaging.
Yeah.
Hey, and if you have a boyfriend or husband, do it for him. Why not?
Doctors used to do that, and I guess they just stopped. I don't know.
My doctor does it all the time.
Okay. Yeah, I gotta I guess I gotta change my doctor.
I tell them, like, you want to check? You can check. Like, I check all the time, but they're like, okay. I'm like, all right, just making sure. Yeah. You know. Actually, it was. I've gotten. I don't know. For me, when it comes to like, I'm willing to do anything to make sure I'm healthy. Like, I've legit told my doctor, if you told me there was a magic monkey in like Brazil, and it shot out like magic poop and it cured cancer and like everything, I would fly over there and just buy a monkey, like, magic bacteria and just put my mouth on his butthole and just and I would just
human centipede.
Yeah, I would just like I know it sounds crazy. I legit will do anything for like health.
Yeah, you know, that's a good thing to have. A lot of people, they don't care, you know, and
oh yeah, like I have no shame. Like I remember one time I ate way too many beets. And I went to the bathroom and it was just red. First thing they would I just called my doctor and they said, "Oh, don't worry, it's probably just something." And you're like, "I'm going tomorrow. I want you to check my butthole right now." And we found out there, like, yeah, you just had a bunch of beets and don't worry about it. Yeah, you're fine.
If you ever drink a beet juice, you'll find out exactly what David's talking about.
And another time I actually had I'm an anemic, or a little bit anemic at this point. It's kind of leveled out, but I take a iron, and sometimes if I take too much iron, my I guess fecal matter is legit just black.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if you take too much iron, it just turns like black like this, and it's terrifying. The first time you're like, what is that? That's not good. And when I went to the doctor, they're like, how's your iron? Like, great, actually. They're like, actually, your iron's kind of high now. Are you taking way too much iron? Like, I think so, maybe. It's like, is your poop black? Like, yeah. Like, okay, that's why.
Well, that's good.
They check, but then like, yeah, your iron's just really too high. So yeah, I have no shame in like making sure my intestines and innards are good.
Yeah, so I feel like the whole beginning part of this episode, it turned into a positive message. Like, go get yourself checked out, especially if you have organs that hang out of your body. You can feel.
If your organ is, if you have an organ outside your body, which is your testicles and penis, check it.
You got a little advantage. You can feel for it yourself, and you know.
Yeah, that's good. There's pros and cons, you know. Yeah. But I guess my idea. I didn't go through any of the notes from last episode, but I had an idea to just find a random word generator. And this one's pretty decent, but now when I'm doing it, it's like kind of crappy. But the first thing that pops up, this random question generators. When you're by yourself, what do you usually think about? I don't know.
That's deep.
I'm kind of honestly I'm actually a pretty sad dude by myself.
Okay.
Well, the first thought I usually is like, what is my wife doing? That's usually almost my first thought all the time when I'm by myself. Like, what is she doing right now? Is she okay? And I'll text her like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm just gardening, or I'm at work. I'm like, oh yeah, of course you're at work. But honestly, I get really like, I can get nostalgic sometimes, or I get very like, I guess what's the opposite? What's the nostalgia but for the future? I can't wait for this, or I wonder if this is gonna happen. I don't know. I don't know what you call that. I think it's like the opposite of nostalgia. Like nostalgia is like looking back and like reminiscing about good times.
Yeah, I'll look that up.
But it's like the future stuff, like thinking about the hypothetical future, what you might do, what you're gonna do. I get very like that mindset, I suppose. What about you?
Lately, you know what? I've been thinking about like my weekly schedule. Like, you know, what I want now that the summer's coming up, and like we were saying, I think it was in the last episode how I'm joining a martial arts gym. Again, I just wanted to like, I always was fascinated by like people who had, you know, diaries in the past that were like famous, like let's say like Van Gogh, or like Eric Satie is a piano player that I really love. Pianist. I didn't want to say that word, but I'll say it the right way.
Pianist.
But
what are you, middle school? He's a pianist.
Yeah. But his like daily schedule, it you know, it like just weird things that like creative people, the way that they schedule their day. And I just really wanted to get something like that so I could get the most productivity out of myself. And you know, moving forward, adding martial arts to the mix. You know, I also do real estate. We do the podcast. So I just feel like there's specific like pockets of the week where we can, you know, like we have our days that we can film. So, you know, that's lately what I've been working on. And mostly, you know, what I think about like the real estate that I've been working on.
Yeah, the market real estate is kind of like not low. It's actually really high. Wait,
yeah.
What's the right way of saying it? Because it's very high prices.
The prices are really high, but the inventory is really low. But right now they're starting to bring the foreclosures into the market because they took off that moratorium. So, but the thing is, they don't want to flood the market and break it. You know, like you don't want to really screw it up. So they're gonna start like the banks are gonna start like slowly like little cheese nibbles, you know, to the inventory. Yeah. So the inventory's gonna get better, price is gonna come down, and then, you know, rates are gonna go back up though. You know, so
I do know this though. I mean, I kind of took your, not really advice, but you mentioned that you said something like everything is a discount now, and I'm like, you're right.
Yeah.
And I just started buying a bunch of stock. I was like this was like I would look at the stock. Wait, that was like $30 like a month ago. Now it's like 22. Like
Yeah, as far as the stock market
or
and
like
crypto.
something was like 100 and now it was like 80 or something like that. Like or even like I'm very much pro AMC. Like it was like at 30 something and then it went down to like 13. I'm like, buy more. Why not? Like
Yeah, definitely.
But I always tell people when you invest in stocks, I always pretend the money is gone. I don't even think of it as mine anymore because I need to be okay possibly losing it.
Yeah,
that's how I view it.
That's how you should view it, and that's a good way to look at it. But yeah, I think right now you can't do any wrong. We still might not have hit bottom yet, and there is talks of possible recession in 2023, which would prolong what they would call a bear market.
Yay, bear market.
But the thing is, we've gone down so far that like you can buy now and we could go lower, but we're gonna surpass that coming back up. So
yeah, it's gonna bounce.
Yeah, so right now you can't lose. You just should be investing money that you don't need to move, and you can tie it up for a couple of years. Like I remember in movies I used to see that when I was younger. They'd be like, oh, I got my money tied up in some investments. Like when people ask for money,
you're like, I don't understand what that means.
Yeah,
now you know
like,
what it means.
Foolish, you're full of what, but yeah.
You've cursed before.
I know. Sometimes I like to wait as far into the episode.
I think we're past the 2-minute mark.
Okay.
So if you guys didn't know that, I think I mentioned this before, but usually YouTube has this thing where you can't really use profanity within the first 2-3 minutes. Or something, I don't know. It's really interesting. Or
it knocks you down.
Or it'll knock you down. It's just, I don't know. I feel like I'm being manipulated a little bit. But speaking of manipulation,
bending the knee to the man.
Yeah, this random question says, if you had to choose, would you rather be too hot or too cold?
Oh, always too cold.
Me too.
Yeah, too cold because I could always warm up.
Exactly, right? Like I've told it to so many people that they say, "Oh, I'd rather be too hot because I can't stand the cold." Like you can always like add layers.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you just buy some merino wool socks and you're good. You can just, but too hot. There's no way of and there's not no way, but it's so much harder to like cool down. Water and you can't get like how naked can you get and you're still too hot.
And being too hot, it involves sweating. It involves then you don't have enough deodorant on for this kind of
dehydration.
Sweat.
Yeah.
How long are you gonna be in this heat? 8 hours, 10 hours. You could dehydrate and die.
But I think maybe it's asking is that a permanent thing? If you would just would he permanently be only too hot or too cold? Like your body's always. It's not asking that, but hypothetically, if you couldn't change it, would you rather be too hot or too cold?
Yeah, no, too hot for sure. I mean, too cold. I'm sorry.
Too cold. Yeah, I'm the same. I would rather be a little bit cold than hot. I don't know.
Yeah.
If you could play a prank on any historical figure, this is interesting. If you could play a prank on any historical figure, who would you pick and what prank would you do? I wouldn't call this a prank, but I would completely fuck with Adolf Hitler for years. I would just from his childhood up to the point where he does horrendous things, I would just do a bunch of pranks on him. And then maybe kill him as an adult. I mean, I'm not condoning murder, but I think he's one of those people where you can say that and people will kind of get,
prank goes wrong.
I think people will understand not really liking Adolf Hitler.
I'm trying to think.
Because the last thing I want is people to say, you condone murder. Like, I was mentioning Adolf Hitler. All right. Calm down. But, so if you could play, it's not really a prank. That's just more like doing away with a historical figure.
Yeah. I'd probably prank, I would say George Washington.
Why is that? Yeah. Or why and what would the prank be?
I just want to see if his, the whole thing about his teeth is real. And, I just give him, I just prank him somehow. I don't know. Give him, a rapper's grill or something, See,
I'm trying to figure out what would be a prank. What would you be kind of mean? maybe like Michael Jackson. Yeah, Michael Jackson. No, Michael Jordan. Like gave him the wrong shoes or something. But are they historical is Michael Jordan a historical figure? He's still alive.
He's still, yeah, I think he is definitely, but it's still too fresh, and he's still writing his book, I guess. But yeah, and people frankly, that crossed my mind were like Gandhi, you know.
Yeah, Gandhi was a jerk though. I'm gonna say that Gandhi was not the nicest person when it came to his relationships. He was very hypocritical. Like not the nicest. Didn't quite. How do I say this? Didn't quite practice what he preached.
Okay.
Wasn't the nice. Wasn't the most supportive husband. I would say that. But that's just hearsay.
Yes,
Get it? That's just me. That's my thoughts. You know, I probably maybe Pablo Picasso because I really don't like. See, the thing is, I can only do pranks on people I don't like. Because if I like a person, I wouldn't want to, like, do something to them. So yeah, in Pablo Picasso, I don't really like him. Actually, I mean, yeah, I kind of like Michael Jackson. I mean, he's questionable, but you know. No one knows what really happened, but yeah, I think Pablo Picasso. I might like mess with his paint or something.
Okay. Now we're talking,
or something like that. I don't know. That's a really bizarre question.
And what about that made me think of something. Like if you could go back and meet anybody, hang out with them for a day, if you had a time machine.
Oh, Kurt Cobain.
Kurt Cobain.
Yeah. Nice. I don't know what happened. Like, because he was, I don't know, because this is before like the internet and how like everything, you know, like Mac Miller, like, you know, he committed suicide as well, like, but yeah. Like but his it was different because today's day and age, like, there's so much information available, but back then, or even like Heath Ledger, like you don't, like, you kind of want to know like what happened, you know, or before. I mean, obviously this, if you're going back in time, but yeah, I would want to know, like, I think it would be or like people, like, honestly, I'm seeing a trend here. I'm seeing a trend that I want to talk to people that took their own life, and like what happened, like, not after the fact, but like, you know, what was their life like? Because they're obviously successful. But like, well, did Amy Winehouse take her own life?
Who?
Amy Winehouse. She didn't come.
It was self-induced, but like I don't think it was like.
I'm trying to.
Yeah, she
end
just
myself.
Lost to her demons.
Yeah, or the Linkin Park lead singer.
Yeah, that was more of a suicide.
Damn, that's a lot.
Yeah, Bourdain.
Anthony Bourdain. Yeah, yeah. What was your original question?
Oh, meeting someone if you take time travel.
Yeah, I feel like it'll be mostly people that eventually took their own life, or somehow, you know, OD'd or something like that. Like,
yeah, I mentioned him before, Eric Satie.
Yeah.
Very, you know, I'm very intrigued by his existence in France. When a lot of people weren't playing that style of piano, he kind of was on the forefront.
What's the title? Like, what if someone was watching this, or not if?
He has a very famous song,
like,
which I like, but it's kind of like, you know, when like you like a band and you're like, oh, that's not his best song, you know. But he has there's like he has like works that are like sets of songs, like they're called I don't know how to pronounce it correctly because it's French, but Gnossians. That's okay. One, and then there's I forget how to pronounce the names, but I'll definitely link it. When you hear it, you'll instantly know, you know, what the song is. You know. Yeah. Oh,
I just realized I'm wearing a Prince. So yeah, I'll probably meet Prince. Yeah, I probably talked to Prince for a bit.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I just realized. I forgot I was wearing my Purple Rain sweater. I actually looked at the camera. I'm like, oh yeah. But yeah, honestly, I'm seeing a trend. I'm seeing like a lot of like musicians, some artists. I mean, I did see an Andy Warhol documentary recently. I don't know. He has a bunch of people.
Yeah, Andy Warhol would be a really cool one because he was like I guess what do you call it? Like a socialite as well, like in New York City.
Kinda. I mean, he was, but wasn't. Like he was very socially like awkward and whatnot. And
well, yeah, I mean, I get what you mean.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like in the circle.
He was very much like a part of like club. What's that nightclub that was super famous? Club. It's a number.
54, Studio 54.
Studio 54. There you go. Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah,
that's before our time though.
Yeah, the other Satie song, by the way, is Gymno Pity. They're Gymno.
That sounds familiar, actually.
Yeah, it's like a very famous song. Like,
okay.
Yeah, when you hear it, you'll know. But it's like really minimalist, So it actually I could play these songs, like I know a few.
Yeah.
Which also lends to me liking him. But
wait, would there be a copyright if you actually played it like on a piano? Like if you had a keyboard?
No. Yeah, no. I think you could play it live if you're
performing
okay.
It. Yeah. Okay. Then maybe you could do that another time. I mean, I guess this is a good question. Do you people watch? If so, where do you like to do this most? See, people watching is interesting because context matters, because you can be a peeping Tom pretty quickly. It can go bad. My mom used to do that. She probably was watching this now. My mom did that a lot, and I got it from her, where we'd just like sit in a park. And then I remember one time, what was it? We were actually in France. It was myself, my mom, my brother. We went to Paris, France. We went to the Louvre. I know exactly where this happened. We were in the Louvre, and there's a restaurant in the Louvre. And the Louvre is like this, like, I think one of the world's biggest like art museums, with like the statue of David and like a bunch of other famous pieces. And we were sitting there, and we were watching this couple. And my mom and my brother, I think it was my mom that mentioned it. She's like, they're not together. And I said, what do you mean they're not together? Like, they're not together. That's like, that's not a relationship. Like, that's what do you call it when you're cheating on somebody? Oh, this is terrible. Affair. There you go. Affair.
An affair.
Yeah, that's like, she's something that's an affair. And my brother's like, I think that is an affair. And like, why? And then the whole conversation was like how their body language was more of like two middle school kids, like they're getting away with something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they were behaving like children, but they were grown ass adults. They were like grown adults, but they're acting like children. I'm like, like that is true. Like when two people are together, like they're not acting like children. They're acting like, honestly, when you see me and my wife, we look kind of boring. We're not like doing any of that. We're just doing our thing. Like, we're gonna go to the museum, but we're not like cuddling and like, and kissing earlobes and such. Like, but that's a memorable thing. Like, yeah, so people watching, honestly, you can people watch anywhere. It's just don't people watch when they're in their homes and you're outside peeking in. That's not people watching. Yeah. That's being a creeper.
People watch in a public area. Yeah. Personally, you know what? I've done that, and it's been a fun time. But I've noticed that I'm really did that when I was on like some dates. Did that with people I didn't know so well. To be honest, also, it's actually a good way to get to know somebody too. Like when you start talking about like, because like you kind of like envision this whole character of the person, and like who they are, and like what do you think this person's like. And it just sprouts conversation. But yeah, it's been fun. Me and my current my fiance, not my current fiance, but
the same current fiance is like right now she's not a fiance, but not in a year.
Who knows? Episode 50. She might be my wife.
Yeah. Oh yeah, of course. That's
what I bet. That's what I bet.
Yeah. That's the goal.
Yeah. But yeah, we don't people watch much, but. Yeah, it's fun.
I blame cell phones.
Yeah,
I think because we're occupied, people watching on our phones all the time.
Yeah,
but I mean, the thing I think this is the if you do people watch, it's like you can't, but it has to be observational. I don't want to dictate how you people watch, but because you don't want to judge the person, you just want to observe and come to some sort of conclusion without like casting any sort of like judgment on them.
Yeah.
If not, then it just becomes kind of gossipy, and then once it gets gossipy, I mean, then again, we kind of gossip a little bit here, but then it becomes kind of distasteful. But I mean, who doesn't gossip? People gossip, but that's my little thing. Like, I don't like saying, "Oh yeah, that guy. Like, what is she wearing?" Then that's just being kind of like a jerk. Or what is he wearing? Or, but it's more like observing their behavior. Like, why are they doing that? Or like, that's interesting. I think when I was working at retail, I did it for several years. I did Banana Republic and Abercrombie and Fitch. I did it a lot. I would just watch like customers, and like it was very interesting. I noticed this the most when it comes to working retail. Men are like lasers. It's like they just go straight to like what they want. They just see it and they don't buy it, or they buy it and they walk out. Mm-hmm. Like women were more like moths, just like or like squirrels just everywhere, like messing things up and whatnot. I think that's the main like trend I saw when it comes to working retail or watching people's like men tend to walk in. They're like, I'm gonna buy that. They try it and they leave. Some of them they don't even try it. Women are like, once I see, I mean, this is kind of messed up, but if I saw a man come in, I would be like, oh, like he's not gonna mess anything up, because you just fold a whole table up or several tables up. And when I saw women, I'm like, oh no, and it's like, it was a teenage girl, I'd be like, oh no, because they weren't gonna buy anything. They're just gonna take from like the tables and racks and try it on and not buy any of it. They just like the experience
take a
of
picture in it.
Yeah, they just like the experience of like just wearing, and it was not good. I mean, I've had some horror stories with retail. You work retail?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I worked at Hollister.
I found diapers in the changing room. Tampons.
Ooh.
Used tampons.
Oh my god.
Used underwear. Yeah, a bunch of things.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know how you leave that behind. I would like to think it was an accident, but I mean, for some of those are not. Like, like the
for
female hygiene things. Like why would you leave that there? Why wouldn't you go to the bathroom? It's just crazy.
Embarrassment. I don't know.
Embarrassment.
I don't know. I'm not a woman. I never had a period before.
Maybe that's like a kink, like leaving them in public places.
Tee, I left my tampon in the restroom, changing room.
Yeah, well,
maybe it was like like they're kind of like say, hey, I'm into you, so I left my What if someone's into? Maybe if some person doesn't know like common like cues, like if you like somebody, you do X, Y, and Z. But if they just thought that was like a way to get someone's attention, leaving a tampon.
Yeah.
and they knew I was the person doing the
yeah. I mean that's some Amber Heard level type stuff right there. But
I can't get over the whole like she'll forever be Amber Turd. Because
I saw this funny meme of like an episode from South Park where Mr. Hankey's on the stand, and it's like the final witness of the court case.
Yeah,
that's hilarious. But go ahead.
Mr. Hankey is the poop character in South Park. He's literally a piece of poop. Does he have a hat?
He has like a Christmas hat.
And he just hops around with poop. He leaves a poop trail. I forgot what I was trying to say, but like I don't know. I would never do. I think every person, I've mentioned this before, I think every person should do like some service job, like whether it be waiter, bartender, retail, because it's when you do that job, you become very empathetic towards other people with that job, but you're not going to give them any crap. You just go like, one guy, actually I went to J. Crew recently and actually bought the pants I'm wearing now, and but there's like I took 2 or 3 other pairs.
Shout out to J. Crew.
I like J. Crew. It's affordable but nice, casual. But
J. Crew's nice.
It's good. But I just said thanks to the guy, and then I said, and I was gonna put it to the back in the table. And he's like, "Oh no, I got it." I'm like, "You're good. I know how to fold. It's good." He's like, "Really?" I was like, "No." I just folded it, put it down. He's like, "Oh, thanks." And because but I think every person, I think the people that have never worked those type of jobs, I think those are the people that you find, those Karens, those people being recorded and spazzing out, and you don't have my size, and like, so check in the back, you're lying. Like, no, we really don't have your size. We're not shaming you. We don't have your size.
Yeah. It's funny because that we get on that topic. Did you see that there's a new documentary on Abercrombie?
No.
And Netflix. Yeah, it's called, like, I think I might be saying the wrong name, but I think it's like White Hot Summer or something like that, or just White Hot.
That sounds very Abercrombie.
Yeah, they hit the nail on the head on that one. But yeah, it was interesting. I mean, there's a lot of stuff I knew because I worked there, and the public stuff that also came out, the court cases, and
like what?
Famously, like the CEO said he didn't want, like, I guess, like they would say now, plus size models wearing his clothes, and like, minorities and things like that.
Well, I worked there, so
yeah. And then there was this whole thing where there was like, they would work to like keep people that were in that were minorities like
in the back,
away from the front.
Yeah, I heard that too. Yeah. Like, but yeah, actually, I worked the front, and mind you, this is when I was like 40 pounds lighter. I fit the aesthetic at that point. I was way slimmer. And they said, "Oh yeah, you could be in the front." And I'm like, "But I can work in the back." Like, "No, you're gonna be in the front." And I'm like, "All right." And all the people I was the only Hispanic person on the floor. Everyone else was white. And then all my I guess fellow Hispanics and people of color were all in the back. So I kind of felt kind of weird to like, why are you in the front? Like, I don't know, dude. I have no clue. Maybe I have features. I don't know. Then again, I'm babyface now, but I was way more babyface like 10 plus years ago. Never again though. But it's called something like White Hot Summer or White Summer. Or
White
Summer.
I think it's called
White Hot.
Yeah.
Actually, have you heard of this one movie called A White Dog?
No.
It's about a racist white dog.
Oh, okay.
It's literally, look it up. The White Dog is about a white dog that was raised and trained by a white supremacist, racist guy.
Okay.
And all he would do is just attack black people.
Oh, damn.
And that was the movie.
What time, what era?
This is like the early 80s, late 70s.
Oh, but is it fictional or is it like about?
It's a film. It's not a documentary.
Okay.
No,
so
it's
fictional.
Not. It's just, and then like, a family takes the dog and rehabs the dog, and like it relapses, and I think that's kind of hilarious. That's literally, it's just a racist white dog. It's like I think they got like, I think it was like a white German Shepherd, or it was like a white husky. I'm not quite sure, but it was just like a white albino dog.
Oh, okay.
And it's kind of messed up. I think this is like the same time or right before Cujo. But I guess obviously Cujo is way more successful because you never heard of White Dog.
Yeah. Right. Did you do you watch Ozark?
No. I realized, you know what? It's already like 4 seasons in or 5 seasons in. I'm not gonna catch up. And I think I saw only like the first 2 episodes, and I didn't really get it, and people are like, "You should keep watching. It gets better." I'm like, I don't.
Yeah,
I hear the same thing.
It did get really good. I finished the whole show, and I don't think this is the end, but I think there'll be some kind of like spin-off or it.
I think I just, you know what it is? I don't like. Not that I don't like it. Anything that's too grounded, I'm like, I'm good. It's just too possible for me.
Yeah, it's like literally happening, like kind of like
and
the white.
Not possible. That's
the white dog.
I'm sure. I'm sure that is happening. Like cartel stuff, I can't watch.
Yeah, I got you.
It legit freaks me out.
Oh, okay.
Because it's not fictional. It's like, no, this stuff actually happens and still happening right now. But I can watch like this show called All of Us Are Dead. this. I actually have it written down so I don't forget it. This is a
okay.
Korean drama about. I wrote zombies in a high school.
Oh yeah. I saw that. I haven't checked it out.
Well, it starts in a high school. It's really good. I mean, ever since Squid Game, I'm like, I kind of like Korean dramas. The writing is very different, and especially in All of Us Are Dead, in like more Western shows, it's like, oh, these are the main characters, and everyone else is an extra, and you just follow these main characters for the whole season, and once in a while they'll die off, or once in a while they're like something happens to them where they're no longer on the show. Mm-hmm. But with All of Us Are Dead, it's like, no, like you think a main character is a main character, like, nope, they're dead. Like, what? Like, what just happened? Or you would think, or they will spend so much time on a character, and you think, oh, this like their story is gonna like have this nice arc to it, and then like the next two scenes, like, or for the rest of the episode, you don't even see them again, and then like the next episode they're there and they die. And like, wait, but what happened with the other thing that happened before? Like, doesn't matter. So I kind of like that. It's kind of like, it's very, or at least this show is very abrupt. Like, you know, I mean, unlike Squid Game, where you kind of know who's gonna win the game at the end, the main character. But there goes the train. And you told me to get into this show called Dark because I asked you if it was like Stranger Things. You're like, no, it's nothing like Stranger Things. And I think I surpassed you.
Yeah.
So I'm already almost done with season 3, and I think there's only 3 seasons. But and you said you just finished season 1, so can't really mention it. But it's a really good show. It's nothing like Stranger Things. I thought it would be like Stranger Things because it kind of came out around the same time. Yeah. And it has sort of the same kind of a soundtrack, or similar soundtrack. At least season 1 it does. Yeah, it's a kind of. The only thing I'll say is it's about time travel. That's it.
Yeah, and then the beginning too, before they the big reveal, it kind of has that whole same thing with like the upside down kind of, you know.
Yeah, like
a different some kind of
thing. So and Stranger Things had that same kind of thing. Like there's another world.
Yeah.
So other than that, it's nothing like Stranger Things in any way.
Yeah.
But I think Dark. It's German, and so the Korean dramas and Germans, like you're reading a lot, but I'm sure there's some things that are like lost in translation and a lot of like cultural references, but. I mean, to me, they're both pretty good shows, and you know, they're pretty good. I mean, what do you call that? Cinema?
What?
Like these shows is like who was it? Martin Scorsese was saying that like superhero films, like MCU films, isn't cinema.
Yeah,
it's like
he has like some kind of hate for them.
I feel like I mentioned this before. Anyway, but yeah, and I'm like, I had to define cinema then like, do I even watch cinema? Because like I watch a whole lot of like Marvel films. If I'm not watching cinema, then what am I watching? Not quite sure, but I am gonna watch The Northman. Tomorrow. So
I saw it.
You did?
Yeah.
Is it a thumbs up, thumbs down, 5 stars?
I liked it.
1 star.
And I really like stuff like that a lot. I think that's why I liked it a lot. You know, I like I've watched Vikings. You know, like I've 5 seasons
Norse
deep
mythology.
into Vikings. I know some people fell off after like season 3, but I like stuff like that. I really enjoyed it. I think it's like a really cool story to add to my folklore of, you know, things. But it was cool. I really liked it.
The one thing the only thing I heard was. It's nothing like, for example, The Green Knight. Obviously, it's completely different like genre. But however, I hear it takes what you would think the story will be, and it kind of flips it. Yeah. Like, so similar to The Green Knight, where you think, oh, this is about a noble knight, and he goes and conquers the bad guy or the giant or the dragon. And in The Green Knight, it's not that at all. It's like he's far from what a knight is. And I hear The Northman is kind of like that. Like it's a revenge film, but it's not as a linear story as people say it is, or as it seems. It's more twists and turns in it.
Yeah.
But that's the only thing I heard of. I've been trying my best not to like watch any spoiler videos or articles, but I hear it's pretty good.
Yeah, and it's funny that you said you were watching like the German show and stuff like that. I think I mentioned it before in other ones when we talked about like stuff that we've watched. But I got really into like a lot of Danish shows.
Okay.
So much so, I was like learning some Danish. One of my favorite bands of all time is from Denmark, the band Mew. If you haven't listened to them, I suggest to check them out. They're a nice deep dive. They have a lot of great tracks that all sound different, and album to album. Anyway, yeah, check them out. But there's also a movie. I'm sure I talked about it in the past too. That I'm pretty sure it's Danish too. But it's about these people. I don't want to give away the whole movie, but it's like, I'll put the link in the bio. But it's really good, and it's like I don't want to spoil it. But
what would
all right? So let's say
is there a trailer?
There's a person. Yeah, there's a trailer. I'm just trying to find the name.
Yeah.
But,
so what would they present in the trailer?
All right,
that's why I kind of think about
it's like almost like it's following around the portrait of like a strange individual, let's say, and there's something about them that's strange, and you like can't put your finger on it, but you don't want to be mean because it's like kind of obvious that they're not like not. Don't fall under the category of like normal appearance and things like that. So, and then later on you find out.
Like, why are they strange?
You find out, yeah, and it blows your mind. Like I've never seen a movie like this, and
it's called what again?
It's something so simple, but I'm trying to find the name. Hopefully I can find it by the time the podcast is over. But it's on Netflix, and I couldn't believe it was on Netflix.
While you're doing that, the last really good movie I saw, I mean, I've seen a bunch, is actually The Batman with Rob Pattinson as Batman and Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman. And the Riddler is Paul Dano. I really like Paul Dano a lot.
Yeah, he was great.
When him in There Will Be Blood was really, really good. But I do like the like, it's not a tilt, but it's like an acknowledgement of horror.
Mm-hmm.
And there was more leaning towards like detective Batman, not like ninja sneaking around Batman.
Yeah.
Or like Ben Affleck, like the brute Batman that's just his bodybuilder of sorts. But not bodybuilder, but you know what I mean. But I do like the Rob Pattinson version of Batman, and also in the movie they explain. I don't want to explain it, but they show why he doesn't move. I mean, did you see the film?
Yes, I did. Yeah, it was great.
Like, I'm not giving anything away, but he actually has a camera as a contact lens, and so his very slow movements isn't just for dramatic effect. There's a pragmatic actual reason why he's doing it, because he's trying to record everything. Oh, I touched the mic. He's trying to record everything as still as possible, hence why he doesn't really blink.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like, oh, he's just being creepy. Like, there's a reason why he's doing it. I mean, I think it's one of the most grounded Batman films I saw in a while. There's very little fantasticalness. There's no, like, super strong, like, superheroes or whatever. I think the only one scene that I'm like, he should have been kind of messed up in that part. It's in the trailers, I'm not giving anything away, where an explosion happens and he gets thrown back. I think he should have been a little bit more damaged than what he's been. Like, maybe like something on his face.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's a very much like Batman's very human. In previous films, he seems more like superhuman, or like somehow he can, like, I don't know, he like disappears.
Yeah.
Which is, like, I mean, he does that in this film too, but it's not overly done too much. But who else is in it?
I liked what's his name? The guy that played the Penguin.
Colin Farrell.
Colin Farrell did great. Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
really
they didn't
good.
even recognize him.
Yeah, he did it really good. And if some people don't know, I think he's doing a spin-off show.
As Alfred?
on Cinemax, I think. Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
No, as what's his name? As the Penguin, but what's his real name? The Penguin. He's got a funny name.
Cobblepot.
Yeah, Cobblepot.
Something Cobblepot.
Yep.
Oh, I was thinking of Andy Serkis, but Andy Serkis was Alfred, and he's a really good Alfred. I wish he had a bit more screen time, to be honest. And it seems like, and what I like a lot about it is that it's like a young Batman, so he's not the best detective yet. He's getting there. So like Alfred kind of helps him out, and he doesn't quite have that balanced life yet. His whole life is just being Batman. So like, very brooding, very like, he's like too much of a Batman to the point where he doesn't really quite function as Bruce Wayne yet, the Playboy. And I think if there's more films, he might adopt that character as like, oh wait, I should be a bit more public and put on this persona, Bruce Wayne, Playboy, and use that as a way of networking, getting, I guess you can say, more information, which he kind of does. I mean, he doesn't have the Playboy part, but like where you see him. I mean, I won't give anything away, but there's a part where he's trying to infiltrate a space. He does it one time as Batman, like kind of just barges in. Another time he does it as like, Bruce Wayne. Another time, I won't give anything away, but he realizes, he's learning as the movie's progressing. As opposed to like other Batman films where he just knows how to do things. In this film, like even him, there's a flying scene. Even that is like he's uncertain of like, am I gonna even live through this? You can kind of see, and Robert Pattinson is a really good actor. Through a mask, he's really good at acting. And Zoe Kravitz is actually great too. She's a really great Catwoman.
Yeah, she was good. Zoe Kravitz, like I remember one time my sister, we were at my house, and she like there was a commercial, like a Corona commercial or something. I don't know if you've seen it. She's in it. She's like on a beach.
Yeah.
Well, she was like, oh, Zoe Kravitz, whatever. I'm like, that's not Zoe Kravitz. And like, I couldn't believe it was her, because for me, I'm like, this girl's probably still like young, because
you view Zoe Kravitz as like a 15-year-old.
Yeah, like I'm like, oh, she's still not
when we
there.
were 15.
Which it's not like, obviously she's Lenny Kravitz's daughter. She's gonna have like really good opportunities and stuff like that. Not that I didn't think she was
Lenny Kravitz and Lisa Bonet's daughter.
Yeah, Lisa Bonet too. Yeah,
she has like networking on both.
Yeah, exactly.
sides.
So she's double trouble.
I'm kind of jealous, but in a good way. Good for her though.
Yeah, personally, I didn't doubt that she has the talent to do stuff like this. It was more like I thought she was still too young. Like, am I really this old now? Like, obviously she's Batman now.
I think she's our age. She might definitely be our age or a little bit younger.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe these sons of and daughters of artists are like already like,
I mean,
just on their feet.
Yeah, she's 33.
For her.
She's
33. She was really good.
So yeah, she's not that 3 years younger than me. So yeah.
Yeah, and I found the name of that movie.
Oh yeah.
You must watch, but you're probably gonna watch it and you're gonna be like, why would he tell us to watch this? This is the craziest stuff.
What's it called?
The movie is called Border.
Border.
Yeah, and don't look it up. Just watch it. Just throw it in, and it takes you for a wild ride.
Netflix.
I think it was on Netflix. I'm pretty sure. If not, and
you said it's a Scandinavian film.
I think it's Danish, but it might be German or Danish, one of those two. But
I'm writing that down.
Yeah,
Danish.
It
Question
is
mark.
Mind F. This is the episode I just censored myself. Last episode I cursed the whole time, but
I don't know why he selectively censors though. But
sometimes I don't know. Sometimes it just feels like
forced.
No, like I don't want to like
unnatural
curse it, but yeah. Sometimes.
I mean, I mean, when I was younger, I used to use curse words in between sentences as like a pause.
Mm-hmm.
Like instead of saying I'll say like another word, but I realized cursing for the sake of cursing doesn't quite make any sense.
Yeah.
So then you can kind of get desensitized, and therefore when you do actually curse and mean it, it kind of doesn't mean anything anymore, because you say it because you do it all the time. Mm-hmm. Almost like coffee. If you're constantly drinking it, you need. Yeah. It's like after a while, it doesn't really do anything. Yeah. I guess.
I just have to curse just to function.
Did I just compare coffee with profanity? I don't know.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I just looked at the title too. It's Swedish actually, so I want to just correct myself. Yeah, Swedish film. But you know how Danish and Swedish, they kind of like sound alike, you know. But honestly, God.
I don't. If you said had a Swedish accent or a Danish accent or German, I don't think I would know the difference. I'm not familiar with the languages, to be honest.
I really like
cultures.
Yeah, I really like the language, the Danish language. After watching a show, I was watching it with subtitles instead of overdubbed, and I really enjoyed it.
Do you prefer dubbed or subtitles?
It depends on the show and on the language. Spanish stuff, I just rather overdub it because I don't want to, because I know Spanish, so I just like it overdubbed in English.
Really?
Yeah. But if it's something like,
so because you know Spanish, you prefer it dubbed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes like if it's like you would say Catalan, like from Spain.
Yeah,
Catalan, sounds like
Catalan
weird
is a little
because
different.
It's like sometimes you don't understand what the hell they're talking about.
Or wait, is Catalan like what they speak in Galicia?
I think it's like the more like the Spanish.
The lispy
I think
one.
It's its own. Yeah, the lispy one. Yeah,
the lispy one.
I thought you said a name of a city, so I'm like, I don't know.
Galicia is a city.
Yeah,
they say Galicia.
Yeah.
They talk that you know. They do.
That's exactly what it sounds like. Yeah, I know.
Corazón. Like they say like in Puerto Rican Spanish, they say corazón. Like you hear that R, that roll.
Yeah.
And Galicia, the corazón. It's like
exactly. Yeah.
It's like, are you hissing at me? Like, well, I mean, I don't know if you think the same way, but there is a Spaniard listeners. I'm not gonna, beat you guys up, but there is a bit of like a hierarchy in the Spaniard language of like. You're not speaking a real Spanish. You're speaking that other thing.
Yeah,
there is that sort of like hierarchy.
But
of
I liken that Catalan Spanish to like almost like old English.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like that's what it is.
It's like compare like American English to like British English.
Yeah, I would Yeah, then there's like parts of Latin America which I would feel is like the most centralized Spanish. Accepted, I would say, like more like let's say like Argentina, like Chile, something like that. Area.
I would say those. I understand Spaniard Spanish way more than like Mexican Spanish.
Yeah,
Mexican Spanish, I'm like, slow down. You gotta.
Yeah, Mexican.
You gotta back up a little bit.
Mexican Spanish is almost like Texas English.
And also there's a more of a like cultural vernacular, and also it's like regional too. So there's some words I'm like, I don't even know what that word even is. But when it comes to but for me, I can understand Spaniard Spanish more because it's what I learned in school. There's Spanish I learned at home, but the Spanish I learned in school. So I'm familiar with it. But like, if you throw me in Mexico, I'd be like, "Órale ese!" Like I just like, help me out because you're speaking way too fast, and what you just said, half of it I don't get. But it's not because it is Spanish, but that word you're saying it very differently than how I would use it.
Yeah, and then there's this weird thing happening because then there's like also Spanish from like island cultures, which is like Puerto Rico, DR, Dominican Republic, other places like that. And then they kind of have a thing going on, almost like, how like Jamaica speaks English, and they have an accent, but they're saying words, but they have their own words for certain things.
Yeah, it's a bit of Spanglish.
That's kind of how it works with the islands. But now...
And DR and Puerto Rico there's a lot of Spanglish, a lot of like English words thrown in there.
Yeah, and then now you have all those countries coming together in America, creating this like American Spanish mix of like where
assemblage of
all these words that are slang in different countries. Now it's like known.
Yeah, and there's also English words that aren't translatable to Spanish. Like Google is not Google's just Google. So when a Spanish person says Google, it's just Google.
Yeah, like
So
Walmart, you know.
Walmart, you know.
Walmart.
Yeah, Walmart. McDonald. He dropped the D at the end. McDonald.
Oh man, those memes are hilarious. I don't know if you've seen them where like the guy's like whispering in the girl's ear, and he's got like the Dominican accent.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's too good. But yeah, so you know, I think that's another good place to put the pin in the cushion.
Yeah. I have an idea. I think maybe we shouldn't even have a conclusion. We should just like once like 60 minutes hits, we just stop. We don't even like say, all right, take care, guys.
It just like drops the
just it goes back. It just goes to the end credits.
Yeah.
I don't know because we always drag it on for like another 5 minutes, trying to like conclude.
Yeah. No, definitely. Yeah, we just got to make sure if there's any like going away points. Bring them in the. Yeah, but
So
thanks for joining us on our meeting about the podcast.
There's the Batman, the Northman, Border, Dark. All of us are dead.
I'll throw a search party if you guys haven't seen that.
A bunch of other things, and I'll say hashtag Team Depp. I am hashtag Team Johnny Depp. I don't know. By the time it comes out, hopefully that thing circus, farce ends. So I don't know. Hopefully I don't know. I think he's the winner in that case. But
yeah, shout out to Johnny Depp.
It's like Stranger Than
got
Fiction.
Your back.
Yeah. And I don't know. And Amber Heard to get help.
Yep.
And no, I'm not even trying to be funny. I legit think she just needs help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is episode 30.
30.
Welcome to our last outro that we're ever gonna do.
Well, this is an idea. I don't know.
We're giving up the outro. It might be back in the future. Never know. We'll see how it goes. But yeah. Thank you for joining us. Episode 30. We appreciate it. We appreciate the support and send us those video submissions.
Oh yeah.